of you for the online sessions of Samagra Diksha. I am here before you with name Bhargavi, a PCT of Chemistry in KGBV Vemla from Kadapa district. In our previous session, I explained you about the different types of unit cells. Now, in this session, I am going to explain you the how to calculate the number of atoms in a unit cell and close packing in 1 dimension, 2 dimensions and in 3 dimensions, and also the packing efficiency. So we know that any crystal lattice, it is made up of very large number of unit cells, and every lattice point is occupied by one constituent particle, either it may be atom or molecule or ion. So now to calculate the number of constituent particles per unit cell, to simplify it, just I am taking now the constituent particle as atom. Okay. So by taking constituent particle as atom, first let us calculate the number of atoms in a primitive cubic unit cell. So what is meant by primitive cubic unit cell? Primitive cubic unit cell or nothing but primitive, or this is also called as simple cubic unit cell. So what is this primitive? Means nothing but in our previous section I explained you that primitive unit cell means nothing but the unit cell which has the constituent particles only at the corners. Means here in this primitive cubic unit cell, the constituent particles will be present only at the corners. Such type of unit cells are called as primitive unit cells. So here if we take in primitive unit cells, each atom which is present at a corner, it is shared between 8 adjacent unit cells. So each and every atom which is present at this corner, it is shared by 8 adjacent unit cells. So 4 from the top layer and 4 from the bottom layer. Like that 8 adjacent unit cells can be shared only one atom. So only 1 by 8, as one atom is sharing by 8 corners, only 1 by 8 of an atom, it belongs to that particular unit cell. S1 why? Because each and every atom is shared by 8 corners, okay, or 8 unit cells. So for a particular unit cell, how much amount of atom will belong means only 1 by 8. For example, if two brothers are there, they are having 100 crores of property, then each one will get how much? 50% only, no? 50 crores. Means for 2 persons, 100 crores means for 1 person, 100 by 2. 1 by 50, that means 50 crores. In the same manner, here each atom is surrounded by or shared by 8 unit cells. Then for 1 unit cell, how much amount of atom will belong means 1 by 8 of the atom belongs to a particular unit cell. Either it may be atom or it may be molecule or it may be ion. How much amount of constituent particle will belong to a particular unit cell means only 1 by 8, not total atom. 1 by 8 of the atom belongs to that particular unit cell. So now here they gave you 3 types of representations. You can clearly observe you. So this is called open structure. What is this open structure? Open structure means nothing but it represents the center of the particle and it occupy the position. It represents the center of the particles which occupy the position but not its actual size. They won't represent the actual size of the particle but where it occupied. Either is it occupied at the corners or is it occupied at the center. That means at the body center or at the face center. That position can be shown clearly in this open type of structures. So the arrangement of particles is easier when compared with the space filling model and actual size. This arrangement of particles in this open structures is very easy. Now if we take, this is called as space filling structure. So here this space filling structure explains the arrangement of particles with its actual size. Arrangement of particles with its actual size. See how they are arranged. Okay, how much size is there? That much amount of size can be represented in the space filling model. Next, if we take here, now how much amount of actual portion belong to the unit cell can be explained by this now. See here, it is not here, we can't see the total atoms. See here, are you seeing the total atom? No, you can't see the total atom. Now see here, it is, are you seeing the total atom? No. Here also you are not seeing the total atom. It is a part of atom, 1/8 part of atom. How much it is? 1/8 part of atom. Okay, 1/8 part of atom belong to a particular unit cell. Why I told you? So that is the reason. Only 1/8 part of atom, because see here, this is the structure of atom. Actual, how much amount of actual atom will belong to the particular unit cell. So only in case of primitive unit cell, only 1/8 part of the atom belongs to the particular unit cell. So as only 1/8 atom belong to the particular unit cell, if you take each and every cubic cell has how many corners? 8 atoms at its corners. So each and every cubic cell has how many atoms at its unit cell? It has 8 units at its unit cell. How many? 8. Since each cubic unit cell contains 8 atoms at its corners, the total number of atoms in one unit cell is equal to 8 into 1/8. How much? 8 into 1/8. Because total number of atoms is 8 into how much amount of particular atom will belong to that? 1/8 amount of atom will belongs to the particular unit cell. So 8 into 1/8, that is equal to how much we'll get? We'll get 1 atom. So 8 will get cancelled and we'll get 1. So how many atoms will present in primitive cubic unit cell means how many are present? Only 1 atom will be present at the unit cell. So the number of atoms per one primitive cubic unit cell is nothing but only 1. Okay. Next, body centered cubic unit cell. So now if we take, this is simple cubic unit cell. See here, 1/8 part of the atom belongs to the particular unit cell. So in body centered cubic unit cell, what happened? Along with the corners. So body centered cubic unit cell means nothing but along with the corners, the particles are present at the center of the body also. That means center of the unit cell also. So here what happened? Here in this body centered cubic cell, along with 8 corners, 1/1 body center also will be present. No? See here, along with these 8 corners, see this red one which is here, this also will be a particle present in the unit cell. It belongs to only that particular unit cell. Nana. See here, the particles which are at the corners are surrounded by, or they will be shared by 8 adjacent unit cells. But the particle which is present at the center of the body, okay, body center means the particle should be, the constituent particle should be present at the center, no? So the central particle which is present here, it belongs to only that particular unit cell. So now calculate how many number of total unit cells will be present in this body centered means. In the corners how many will be there? So in the corners I told you, no, 8 into 1/8. So 8 into 1/8. So how much you will get there? 8 into 1/8 means nothing but, so in the corners 8 into 1/8 అంటే 8 into 1/8 అంటే మనకి ఎంత వస్తుంది? 1 వస్తుంది. So already we discussed now in case of primitive cubic unit cell, I told you, no, as each atom is shared by 8 adjacent atoms, so how much will get here? 8 into 1/8. So along with this 1 atom, Now see this. So 1 by 8 atom at 8 corners means 1 unit cell will be present and 1 atom at its center. So total 1 by 8 into 8 means we'll get 1. 1 plus 1 total 2 atoms will be present in body centered cubic unit cell. How many atoms will be present in body centered cubic unit cell? Along with these 1 by 8 corners. So 1 by 8 atom at 8 corners means 1 by 8 into 8. 1 by 8 into 8 means how much we'll get? So 1 by 8 into 8 means we'll get 1. 1 by 8 into 8 means you'll get 1. So along with this, along with this, one particle is present at the center, no? So this central particle will belongs to only that particular unit cell. So as it belongs to only that particular unit cell, here 1 and here 1. So total in body centered cubic unit cell, how many atoms will be present? 1 plus 1 means how many total? The number of atoms present in body centered cubic unit cell is nothing but how many? 2. How many? 2 atoms will present. Next, come to the face centered cubic unit cell. So face centered means nothing but, now see here, in this face centered cubic unit cell, all the corners, the constituent particles will present all the corners and also they will be present at the faces also, center of the faces also. As they present at the center of the faces, now see, each particle which is present at the center is shared by 2 adjacent unit cells. Okay, for that only they mentioned half. See here, half. Why they mentioned half at 60 places means here in this face centered cubic unit cell, each atom which is present at the center of the face, not at the corners. At the corners means 1 by 8 atom, and along with the corners there will be the constituent particles at the center of the faces also, no. So that constituent particles which are present at the center of the atom, they are occupied, sorry, they are what we can say, they can be surrounded by shared by 2 adjacent unit cells. As they shared by 2 adjacent unit cells, now how many unit cells will present in this? See, 1 by 8 of atom at 8 corners. Here only 2 adjacent unit cells are sharing that. That means only half atom. So half atom at how many faces? 6 faces are there, no? Half atom at 6 faces. Okay. So as usual, 1 by 8 into 8 means 1. Along with that, now here one more we should consider, that is 1 by 2 into 6. Why here we should consider 1 by 2 into 6 means, I told you that 1 by 2 into 6. Why we should consider? Because here this particle which is present at the center of the face, it is surrounded by or it is shared by 2 adjacent unit cells. 2 adjacent unit cells means half of the particle will belong to the particular unit cell. So we have 6 faces. So 1 by 2 into 6. So 2 1s are 2 3s are. So here at the corners 1 by 8 into 8 means 1, and here at the faces 1 by 2 into 6, that is equal to 4. So the total number of atoms per unit cell in face centered is 4. How many will present in face centered cubic unit cell? 4. Body center 2. Primitive cubic unit cell only 1. Have you understood now? So in primitive cubic unit cell, only the constituent particles are present at the corners. 1 by 8th part of each constituent particle is shared by 8 adjacent unit cells. Only 1 by 8th part of atom belongs to that particular unit cell. So 8 corners are there. So 1 by 8 into 8, that is equal to 1. Okay, in the same manner, so the number of atoms per simple cubic unit cell or primitive unit cell means nothing but 1. And if we take body center, along with the corners, one particle will present at the center of that particular unit cell. That particle will belongs to only that unit cell. Okay, so along with that unit cell, and 1 by 8 atom at its corner means 1 by 8 into 8, so we'll get 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Now if we come to face centered cubic cell, in this face centered cubic cell, along with the corners, the 6 faces, the constituent particles are present at the 6 faces also. Now the constituent particles which are present at the centers of 6 faces, that constituent particle is shared by 2 adjacent unit cells. As it is shared by 2 adjacent unit cells, for each unit cell only half atom belongs to one unit cell. Yes or not? 2 adjacent atoms are sharing one atom, means only half of the atom will belong to that particular unit cell. So like that, how many? 6 faces are there. So in the constituent particles which are present in the 6 faces, they will be shared in this manner only. So half of the atom will belong to each face. Half belongs to each face means total how many faces are there? 6 faces. So half into 6, that is equal to 3. Here 1 by 8 atom belongs to each corner means 8 corners are there. So 1 by 8 into 8 is equal to 1. So total number of atoms present in face centered cubic unit cell is nothing but 1 plus 3, that is equal to 4. So this is the how we have to calculate the number of atoms per unit cell in simple cubic, body centered cubic and face centered cubic. I hope all of you can understand this. Next, we'll go for close packed structures. So what is our next topic? Close packed structures. So what is this close packed structures? So in this, we'll explain the close packing in one dimensions, in 2 dimensions and in 3 dimensions. This is the arrangement of particles in 1 dimension. Now if we take in this arrangement, each sphere is in contact with 2 of its neighbors. See now, for example, if I'll take this sphere, it is in contact with this sphere and with this sphere. If I'll take this one, it is in contact with this sphere and with this sphere. If I'll take this sphere, it is in contact with this sphere as well as with this sphere. So each and every one which is present in this, which is arranged in this, is surrounded by 2 constituent particles. As it is surrounded by 2 of its neighbors, we can call the number of nearest neighbors of a particle is called coordination number. So how many neighbors are there? How many neighbor atoms are there? So that particular number is nothing but its coordination number. So coordination number means nothing but the number of nearest neighbors of a particle. Number of nearest neighbors, or simply if you want to say number of adjacent particles for a particular atom in a crystal lattice or in a close packing is nothing but its coordination number. So now if we will take in this 1 dimension, here the coordination number is 2 because each and every atom, if we see, it is surrounded by only 2 of its neighbors. So as it is surrounded by 2 of its neighbors, we can say its coordination number as 2. Okay. Next, close packing in 2 dimensions. So now here if we take this close packing in 2 dimensions, here we can get 2 types of structures, 2 types of packing. This is the first one. So what is this first one? The second row may be placed in contact with the first one. So see here, where is the first ball? The second atom is also there only. See here, if we see, they are present at exact positions. So all these are present at the exact positions. So the spheres of these 2 rows, they are aligned horizontally as vertical. You see, horizontally they are in the exact positions, and if we cut them vertically also, we can get a single row itself. Okay, so this is called AA type of arrangement because the constituent particles, they are arranged exactly onto the other. See, they are exactly onto the other. Now this is A layer, and the next A layer also, it is exactly occupied there itself. So this type of arrangement is called as AA type of arrangement. What is this type of arrangement? This type of arrangement is called as AA type of arrangement. So AA type of arrangement. In this AA type of arrangement, each atom is shared by 4 of its neighbors. So each atom is shared by 4 of its neighbors. So how we can get 4 of its neighbors means, now see here, take this molecule. It is surrounded by the 2 molecules in that particular row and the 1 molecule at the top, 1 molecule at the bottom layer. Can clearly see this. In this row, as in 1 dimension, it is surrounded by 2 adjacent neighbors. That means 2 adjacent molecules. And in the same manner, as it is 2 dimension, I told you, those layers are arranged exactly onto the other. So the third 1 particle from top and 1 neighbor from bottom layer. So total each and every atom is surrounded by 4 of its neighboring. As they are surrounded by 4 of its neighboring, how much will be its coordination number? The coordination number will be 4 in this type of AA close packing. Okay, AA type of arrangement. So we can also call this packing as square close packing in 2 dimensions. So what we can call it? Square close packing. So why we can call them as square means, if we join the neighboring spheres, then we can get a square. See here, this is a square which is formed here. So when we join the neighboring spheres, not that particular sphere, none, neighboring spheres, when we join the centers of the neighboring spheres, this is the center of the sphere. For example, now I am taking here, this is the particular constituent particle I am taking. Now along with that particular one, now this is the neighboring. So for this particular constituent atom, see, this is the particular constituent atom I am taking. So when I take, this is the particular constituent atom. For this is one of the neighboring. It is one of the neighboring, and it is another neighboring. It is another. It is another. Now when we join the centers of them, centers of the adjacent neighbors, so what we'll get? We'll get a square. Now you got a square here, no? Yes or not? No, no. So like that, we'll get the square when we join the centers of the neighboring atoms. So we can call this as square close packing in 2 dimensions. What we can call? Square close packing in 2 dimensions. The next one I am saying, what is it? What is the next one? So next, another type of close packing, another type of arrangement is also there. So the second row may be placed above the first one in a staggered manner. So what is meant by staggered manner? See here, this is layer A and layer B. How it is? This is layer A. Next layer B, how it is present? So it is not present at the on the exact position. See, if we see in the first one, see here, these are present at the exact position. See here, ball to ball means atom to atom, either horizontally or vertically, atom to atom are present. But if we take in this case, see, they are not present atom to atom. So in this, they are arranged. The second row is arranged at the gaps. The next ball, the next constituent particles is present in between the gaps of the first row. Yes or not? You can clearly observe this. So, we can clearly observe this. Now, in this type of arrangement, see, this is one type of layer. This is another layer. AB arrangement we can call it. What we can call it? AB arrangement. So, that is called as AA arrangement. Now, it is called as AB arrangement. AB arrangement. Now if we take in this AB arrangement, so in this arrangement, when we compare with the first one, that means AA type of arrangement, here the space between the constituent particles is very less. As there is a less free space, so this packing, the AB arrangement is more efficient than AA arrangement. So why? Because in AA arrangement, if we see, there is a lot of more gap is there. See here, if we observe, this is a gap here. So this is the gap and this is a gap. This gap is there, no? See, you can clearly see this gap here. But if you take in this, whereas in this second AB type of arrangement, what is happening? In AB type of arrangement, the free space is very less. See, when we compare AA arrangement, here the free space is very less. As the free space is very less, this packing is more efficient than the first one. See here, this is the free space, this is the free space, and this is the free space, this is the free space. So when we compare with AA arrangement, the free space in AB arrangement is less, so it is more efficient than AA type of arrangement, that is nothing but square close packing. The centers. Now see here, if we take each atom, it is surrounded by 6 of its neighbors. So in case of AA type of arrangement, each atom is surrounded by 4 of its neighbors. So the coordination number became 4. But here, in this case of AB arrangement, see here, this is the particle, no? It is surrounded by 2 from the same layer, and 2 from the top layer, and 2 from the bottom layer. So each and every atom is surrounded by 6 of its neighbors. So, and also when we join those 6 spheres, for example, now I am taking this one. So these 2 are the adjacents of this, and also these 2 are the adjacent, and these 2 are the adjacent. When I join the centers of these 6 neighboring spheres, what I can get? I can get a hexagon, no? Yes or not? See here, I can get a hexagon. So that's why we can call this structure as hexagonal close packing. In AA type of arrangement, when I joined the centers of the nearest neighbors, we got a square. That's why we call it as square close packing structure. Now here, when we join the centers of the neighboring spheres, we can get a hexagon. So we can call this as hexagonal close packing. Okay, what we can call it? Hexagonal close packing. So AA type of arrangement is called as square close packing, and AB arrangement is called as hexagonal close packing. So now the gaps which are present here, these are triangular in shape. Is not? You can clearly observe the gaps which are present in this. We can also call them as voids. VOIDS, voids. So here in this triangular voids are present. Why? Because clearly you can observe that we can see the triangular free space. This is a triangle, and this is the free space, and this is the free space, and this is the free space. See here, you can clearly observe the free space in each and every row. In each and every row, the free space which is here, see here, the free space is in the triangle. These triangular voids are of 2 types. So what are those 2 types means? Here see, the apex is upward and it is downward. So in some of the layers the apex pointing upwards, in some of the layers apex means this one. See here it is pointing upward, and here in this layer it is pointing downward. So triangular voids are of 2 types. So the triangular voids with the apex at upward and the apex at the bottom side. Okay, so I hope this is the close packing in 2 dimensions. Next we should go for the close packing in 3 dimensions. In 3 dimensionals we can get different types. So now see here, the 3-dimensional close packing from 2-dimensional square close packed structures. So how can we arrange them? Means, see, when these layers are arranged one onto the other, that means the square close packed structures, when they are arranged one onto the other like this, that means the atoms are exactly one onto the other. See here, the second layer, it should be placed just adjacent to the first layer, as these pairs are exactly onto the other. So when these layers are exactly onto the other, like AAA arrangement, now here it is BBAAA arrangement, but there in 2 dimensions we got what we got in 2 dimensions, AA arrangement we got. Now here we can get a simple cubic structure like A type of arrangement we can see. So what is this arrangement? A type of arrangement. So in this A type of arrangement, what is there? So when we arrange the layers as one by one like this, they are horizontally fixed perfectly and vertically also fixed perfectly. So when we arrange them one by one, so in all these layers, the arrangement is same. The arrangement of the constituent particles is same in all the layers. So we can say it as, which type of arrangement we can say? A type of arrangement, I told you, no? So when we, in this arrangement, which type of unit cell will get, means we can get simple primitive cubic unit cell. So which type of unit cell will be formed by this type of arrangement, means we can get the simple cubic lattice and with the primitive unit cell. Lattice structure will be simple cubic with the primitive unit cells. Okay, now see here, all the atoms are present at the corners itself. So the next one is nothing but the 3-dimensional close packing from 2-dimensional hexagonal close packed structure. This is the 3-dimensional close packing from the square close packing structures. Now we are going to explain the 3-dimensional close packing from 2-dimensional hexagonal close packed structures. So how can we get them? Means by placing the rows or the layers one over the other. Now placing the second layer over the first layer. When we place the second layer over the first layer, then which type of structure will get? Means we can get this type of structure. Which type of structure we can get? We can get this type of structure. In this structure, if we observe, now we placed a layer A, and the next layer should be placed in that the spheres are arranged in the depressions of the first layer. What are the depressions? These gaps of the first layer. So this is the first layer. The second layer is arranged in such a way that the depressions are the gaps which are present in this. They should be, the sphere should be present in those depressions. So as these two layers are different, we can call this arrangement as ABAB arrangement. Okay. Now see here, in this case of ABAB arrangement, what will happen? So from this figure we can observe that all the triangular voids which are present in the first layer, they are not covered by the spheres of second layer. So as they are not covered by the spheres of second layer, we can get different arrangements. Why? Because if all the triangular in the depressions, triangular depressions are there, no? If all those triangular depressions are closed or they are occupied by the spheres, then we can't get different types of arrangement. But here if we see, all those voids of first layer, they are not covered by the spheres of the second layer, so they'll give the different types of arrangement. So whenever a sphere of second layer is above the void of the first layer, which hole is formed, which void is formed means tetrahedral. So this is one layer, this is one layer, and this is one layer. So when a sphere of the second layer is above the void of the first layer, sphere of the second layer, when it is present above the void of the first layer, we can get a tetrahedral hole. Now this is a tetrahedral hole. This is also a tetrahedral hole. Now you can observe clearly a tetrahedral hole is formed. This is a tetrahedral hole and this is also a tetrahedral hole. When this tetrahedral void is formed means whenever the sphere of the second layer, it should be placed over the void of the first layers. These voids are called as tetrahedral voids. Why we can call them as tetrahedral voids means because when we join the centers of these four spheres, then we can get a tetrahedron. So when we join the centers of these four spheres, this is one, these are two, no? One. So when we join the centers of these four spheres, this is one, and this sphere, particular sphere. So we can get we can get a tetrahedron. So we can call these type of holes as tetrahedral holes, and all those tetrahedral holes are represented with the letters. Which one? You can clearly observe, we can represent them with T. And in some places the triangular voids in the second layer, they are above the triangular voids in the first layer. So then what happened? Those triangular shapes do not overlap at that position. When do not overlap, what happened? One of them has the apex of the triangle pointing towards upwards and another one will be downwards. Then what happened? At that time octahedral voids will be formed. See now, here we have O, no? O means nothing but octahedral void. See here, apex will be upward, and for this apex will be upward, and here for this apex will be downward. So when those two does not overlap, then we can get which one we can get? Octahedral void. So why we are calling it as octahedral void means already I told you, no? If one of the such void is, when we join the centers of the neighboring spheres, what we can get? We can get the octahedron. So we can call them as octahedral voids. Okay. So in this type of arrangement, placing the second layer over the first layer, we can get two types of voids. Those are tetrahedral voids and octahedral voids. Here T means nothing but tetrahedral voids and O means nothing but octahedral voids. If we'll take the number of closed packed spheres be capital N, we'll take the number of closed packed spheres are capital N. The number of octahedral voids generated are also equal to capital N. Number of octahedral voids are generated also equal to capital N. But when we come to the case of number of tetrahedral holes, there are 2n. Number of tetrahedral holes formed for n number of spheres, 2n number of tetrahedral holes will be formed, and the same number of octahedral voids will be formed. The next type of arrangement is nothing but placing the third layer over the second layer. So up to now we discussed placing the second layer over the first layer. Now we are going to discuss placing third layer over the second layer. When the third layer is placed over the second layer, we can get two possibilities. What are those two possibilities means? Covering of tetrahedral voids is one possibility, and covering of octahedral voids. See, in this already we got tetrahedral voids and octahedral voids. Now, when we place the third layer over the second layer, what happened? These tetrahedral voids may be covered or octahedral voids may be covered. So, how it will happen? Let us see. The tetrahedral voids of the second layer may be covered by the spheres of the third layer. The tetrahedral voids of the second layer, they should be covered by the spheres of the third layer. In this case, how we should, if we want to cover the tetrahedral voids, how the spheres of the third layer should align? The spheres of the third layer are exactly aligned with those of the first layer. Now see here. This is the first layer, this is the second layer, and this is again the first layer. So if the tetrahedral voids want to cover, then how they should arrange means the third layer should align with the first layer. That means first layer and in the third layer, the position should be same. The arrangement of the constituent particles should be same. First and third. In the same way, next third and fifth again, fifth and seventh. So the first layer will exactly same with the third layer. Third layer will exactly same with the fifth layer. Fifth layer will exactly same with the seventh layer, like that. So this type of arrangement is called as ABAB. Why we are calling it as ABAB means because first and third layers are having the same alignment of atoms, and second and fourth rays, those are fourth layers, they are having the same alignment of atoms. So we can call this pattern as ABAB pattern. And this structure is also called as hexagonal close packed structure. Hexagonal close packed structure. And where we can observe it mainly means we can observe it mainly in the metals like magnesium and zinc. Why we are calling it as hexagonal close packed structure? Now see here, if we will take so here these voids, they should be covered, no? Now see here, the top hexagonal hexagons are there, here, and in this layer hexagon is there, and in this layer also hexagon is there. AB type of arrangement. AB type of arrangement. As hexagons, they are covering the tetrahedral voids. We can call it as hexagonal close packed structure. Next, how the octahedral voids will be covered. So octahedral voids will be covered when the third layer, when it is placed on the second layer, in such a manner that the spheres cover the octahedral voids. So in the first one, we observe that the spheres of the second layer, they are aligned to cover the tetrahedral voids. Here we should align the second layer in this manner that the octahedral voids should be covered. So when the octahedral voids are covered means, so here how will be the alignment? Here the alignment is nothing but when we place the third layer to cover the octahedral voids, the spheres of the third layer are not aligned with those of the either first layer or the second layer. So in this arrangement, the spheres of the third layer, they are aligned. That means they are exactly same with the first layer. But in this case of arrangement, the spheres of the third layer, they are not same with either of the first layer or second layer. Now see here, this is the first layer and this is the second layer and this is the third layer. When we see these three layers, see now when we see these three layers, the first layer is not exactly same with the second. The second is not exactly same with third. Now see here, third layer is aligned with the first layer. Third layer is exactly same with the first layer. But in this case of ABC arrangement, the third layer is not exactly with either second layer or first layer. So we can call this a type of arrangement as ABC arrangement. What we can call ABC arrangement. And this pattern of layers, mainly they'll form cubic close packed structures along with the face centered cubic structures. So which type of structures we'll get in this? Cubic close packed as well as face centered close packed. Both type of structures we can get. See now, this is cubic close packed arrangement. ABC type cubic close packed arrangement. So in this type of ABC type of arrangement, we can get simple close cubic close packed along with the face centered close packed structures. So which type of elements have this type of structures means copper and silver, they will crystallize in this structure. So both these types, either they may be AB type of arrangement or ABC type of arrangement, they are highly efficient and 74% of space in the crystal is filled. So how much amount of space is filled? 74% of space is filled. So all the real structures, they are three-dimensional structures only. All the real structures, they are three-dimensional structures only. Okay, each sphere is in contact with 12 spheres. So in this type of arrangement, each sphere is in contact with 12 spheres. So either it may be AB arrangement or ABC type of arrangement. Now see this. It is contact with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. 6 are there, no? See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no? 6, 4, 1 and one more down will be. So total each sphere is in contact with 12 spheres. So we can say the coordination number in this type is either it may be AB type or ABC type of arrangement. The coordination number will be 12. So this is the arrangement of close packing in 3 dimensions. Placing second layer over the first layer as well as third layer over the second layer. In that again, I explained you 2 cases covering tetrahedral voids. In that AB type of arrangement we get, and to cover the octahedral voids we will get ABC type of arrangement. Next we are going to discuss about the packing efficiency. So packing efficiency is nothing but it is a percentage of total space filled by the particles. So already we explained what are the different types of arrangement in 1 dimension, 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions. There we got the voids. Yes or not? No. So except that voids, the remaining how much amount of place, that means for example if we take the total crystal lattice space is 100%, in that how much percentage of space is filled by the particle, that is nothing but it's a packing efficiency. So packing efficiency is nothing but the percentage of total space filled by the particles. So now we are going to discuss about packing efficiency in simple cubic lattice. For example, if we take in a simple cubic lattice, already we know that the atoms are located only at the corners of the cube. Now see, only they are touched at the edges. See, only edges are touched here. If you can see, only edges of the particles are touched. When we touch them, the radius of each particle are r. So the edge length of the cube. This is the edge length or side of the cube, no? So this side of the cube and the radius of each particle. This sphere is nothing but a particle. The radius of each sphere for this or for this. The radius means nothing but the distance from center to the circle. Yes or not? So the radius of the sphere and the side of the crystal, those two are related as A is equal to 2R. How those two are related? Those two are related as A is equal to 2R. So A is nothing but, this is nothing but A. the side of the particle, the side of the cube is nothing but A. And for example, take this sphere, from here to here this is called radius and this is R. So the distance, these two are represented, or these two are related as A is equal to 2R. That means the side of the cube is twice the radius of the sphere. A is equal to 2R. Okay. Now, as it is a simple cubic unit cell, it contains only one atom. Already I explained you that in this session itself I explained you the number of atoms per simple cubic unit cell. How many atoms? As each atom present at the corner is shared by 8 of its adjacent unit cells, only 1/8 part of the atom is shared, belongs to only the particular unit cell. 8 corners are there, so 1/8 into 8 is equal to only one particle will be present. So the volume of the occupied space is nothing but 4/3 pi r cube. How much amount of space is occupied? 4/3 pi r cube. Packing efficiency means nothing but volume occupied by the atom, either volume occupied by atoms, either it may be one atom. For simple cubic it will be 1, for body centered it will be 2, for face centered it will be 4. So volume occupied by that particular atom by volume of the unit cell. So here volume occupied by atom how much? 4/3 pi r cube. And volume of cubic unit cell how much? A is equal to 2R. So A is equal to 2R. Volume of the cubic cell is nothing but A cube known na. So A cube 2R whole cube. 2R whole cube means how much we'll get? We'll get 8R cube. So this is 8R cube. 4/3 pi r cube into 8R cube. 4/3 pi r cube divided by 8R cube into 100. R cube will get cancelled. 4/3 into pi means 22/7 by 8. If we'll calculate it, how much we'll get? We'll get 52.4%. How much it is? 52.4 is the packing efficiency of simple cubic lattice. That means in a simple cubic lattice only 52.4% of the space is occupied by the constituent particles. Next, packing efficiency of body centered unit cell. If we take in body centered cubic unit cell, see this is a body centered cubic unit cell. Not this one. Wait. Yes. Body centered cubic unit cell. In this body centered cubic unit cell, see spheres. It is clear that the atom at the center will be in touch with the other two atoms which are diagonally arranged. This is the atom which is present at the center, and this is attached to the two neighbors which are arranged diagonally. Yes or not? See here, this is the atom. It is adjacent, or it is in touch with the two atoms which are arranged diagonally. So now, if we take in triangle EFD, which is triangle EFD, this is triangle EFD. Now, this is triangle EFD. Sorry. So, see, triangle EFD. So, this is the triangle EFD. In this triangle EFD, B square is equal to A square plus A square. Why? Because it is a right angle triangle. Here we have the right angle. So, in right angle triangle, according to Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse square is equal to side square plus side square. It becomes the hypotenuse as it is opposite to the right angle. So, B square is equal to A square plus A square. So, 2A square. Then B is equal to root 2A. Now, triangle AFD. So, which is triangle AFD? Now, this is triangle AFD. In this triangle AFD, C square is equal to A square plus B square. Same opposite, same Pythagoras theorem. C square is equal to A square plus B square. That implies A square is equal to, here already B square means we got 2A square, no? So I substituted that here. C square is equal to 3A square. Then C is equal to root 3. The length of the body diagonal C is equal to 4R. This diagonal C, it is equal to 4R, where R is the radius of the sphere. So all the three spheres along the diagonal, they touch each other. This one had seen now. The three spheres which are at the diagonal, they touch each other. And also root 3A is equal to 4R. So root 3A is equal to 4R. Then A is equal to 4R by root 3. A is equal to how much? A is equal to 4R by root 3 will get. And also we can write from this R is equal to, that implies R is equal to, what will happen? R is equal to, if it move this side, numerator will become denominator, denominator will become numerator. So R is equal to, here it is in the denominator, so it will come as numerator, root 3 by 4A. Root 3 by 4A. In this type of structure, how many atoms will be present in the cubic unit cell? 2. So their volume 2 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. So 2 into 4 by 3 pi r cube means how much we'll get? 2 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. And volume of the cube. Volume of the cube is nothing but A cube, no? So A means 4R by 3 root 3. So A cube means 4R by root 3 whole cube. How much it will become? 4R by root 3 whole cube. So packing efficiency means nothing but volume occupied by two spheres in the unit cell by total volume of the unit cell into 100. So see here, how much amount of space is occupied by, this is the space occupied by one unit cell. Then 2 unit cells means 2 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Two into 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by, how much is the volume here? 4R by root 3 whole cube into 4R by root 3 whole cube into packing efficiency, no? Percentage, no? So into 100. So 2 into 4 by 3 pi r cube means nothing but volume occupied by 2 unit cells, 2 atoms, and total volume of the unit cell means nothing but 4R by root 3 whole cube. Then how much we'll get? If we calculate this, we can get the percentage is 68%. How much we'll get? 68%. R cube will get cancelled. Then by mentioning R value, we can get how much it will be. How much amount of space is occupied by the molecules or the constituent particles in body centered means total 68%. Okay, so this is the packing efficiency of body centered cubic structures. Next, we are going to discuss about the packing efficiency in CCP structures. Now, what is in CCP structures? So this is the packing efficiency in CCP. Both types, either closed packs, hexagonal closed packing, okay, they are equally efficient. Now let us calculate. In triangle ABC, what is triangle ABC? This is triangle ABC, no? So now in triangle ABC, so in triangle ABC, this is triangle ABC. In this triangle, again according to Pythagoras theorem, b square is equal to a square plus a square, that is equal to b is equal to root 2a. If r is the radius of the sphere, then we find b is equal to 4r, that is equal to root 2a. Then r is equal to a, that is equal to 4r by root 2. So 4r by root 2, 4 means 2 into 2 we can write. So 2 into 2 means 2, again we can write root 2 into root 2. Root 2 will get cancelled, then we can get 2 root 2r. So we can also write r is equal to a by 2 root 2. Then packing efficiency means nothing but again volume occupied by 4 spheres in the unit cell. Because why 4 spheres I am mentioning? Because in face centered cubic unit cell 4 atoms will be present per unit cell. So 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube by total volume of the cubic unit cell, each side is 2 root 2. So 2 root 2 r whole cube into 100. 4 into 4 means 16 by 3 pi r cube by 16 root 2 pi r cube into 100. 16, how we got 16 here? 2 cube is 8. Root 2 cube means again 2 root 2 will get. So 8 into 2, 16. 16 root 2 r cube, that is equal to how much will get? 74%. That means 74% of the space is occupied by the molecules in both hexagonal closed packing structures. Okay, this is about the packing efficiency in simple cubic lattice, face centered cubic lattice and centered cubic lattice structures. Okay, I hope all of you can understand this. Thank you all for giving me this golden opportunity. Please, children, already I told you many times, in this pandemic situation, it is a very, very good opportunity for you. So please utilize it properly. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye.